Hello everybody, welcome to LUTI tonight. I am Pat here with Sig. Sig, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well so far. Today has been all right, and we've got a fantastic Division One set coming at you today. We've got Symphony versus Ink Souls Maria. We're kicking things off on zones on Brinewater, I believe. Now, Pat, what do you know about these two teams? Like, what can you kind of tell us going into this game? What can we expect here?
Symphony is a team that has been on the rise for a few months now. I think they've taken a break a bit before LUTI, but they're here again with almost the same roster now. Inxels Maria, coming from France, I believe, very much a strong team, able to do a lot. So very two teams that are very much worthy of Division 1, worthy of giving us a great show, Sig.
Absolutely. Symphony being the only team in their group to stay undefeated as well. Every single team has dropped a game in these past couple of weeks, except for them. And they have faced some pretty stiff competition there, playing against Hades in week 1 and ASC Ryu in week 2. Dispatching both of them within about 7 to 8 games from the looks of it.
Oh, yeah.
Ink Souls Maria hasn't had quite as much luck. They got swept week 1 by 3-point divers. But then they bounced back pretty well with a win against Hades. So I think they're going to be trying to establish a little bit more momentum going into this week and just trying to get it moving forwards towards playoffs.
Yeah, a lot could happen between these teams. I mean, it's Division 1. These teams have prepared. We reach that level where you start really preparing exactly for the other team and what you expect them to do. So we'll see how they're able to do, starting with, of course, Plat Zones on Ship-Shaped Cargo Company. On the side of Symphony, we see the Rapid and Stamper, but Ink Souls Maria bringing the Hydra Splatling.
Yeah, the custom Hydra at that, something that we never see, has that splat screen or splatter color screen and the ink mine. We don't see it often, both because of the screen ban and just Hydra not generally being the most used, but it's already going to find a pick in that top left. Symphony do have control of the zone for now, though. But with 2 players down, Ink Souls Maria could definitely make a push here, and they already recapped that zone. 96 Magi with that Trizuka going to force out the Dualies, and the Dualies is looking for something, finds one, looking for that second onto the zone as well, and that's going to lead to a pretty solid retake. Looking for some chip onto the third, going to drop to that blaster as well. Fantastic plays for Symphony so far.
Yeah, and now with the crab tank activated, Symphony is looking to really take control of that whole middle of the map with an extra splat. Now they have the control and are going to push forward with the tactical to try to hold the map for as long as they can.
And they've established themselves pretty well. This dually is in pit, just trying to be a bit of a nuisance to abuse that mobility. The screen comes out, chips a little bit onto the Zap, but the Hydra's dead. The bubble gets popped, and it's way far back in the zone. Can't really contest. The Hydra actually goes down to a bomb toss, and it's just Yoshi and this crab tank left against 4. Nobody can really do anything on the side of Ink Souls Maria here. Symphony have been holding fantastically so far, Pat.
Yeah, perfect hold by Symphony. They really denied that push, and now that Ink Souls has used all of their resources, there isn't much time, there isn't much specials for the Ink Souls, and the Zipcaster is coming in. Trying to clean up is only going to delay, but Symphony have the zone and have game number 1.
Fantastic work from them. They were really able to abuse the pace of the game to their advantage, especially since they have a tactical cooler and Ink Souls Maria doesn't. They were really able to kind of abuse the fact that they have the mobility, they have the fast respawns, and then just that first play by the Dualies, I don't quite know who it was, fantastic work. The double was so clean, getting a little bit of chip for that Rapid Blaster Pro to clean up as well. Really kickstarted things for them right here.
Yeah, very, very nice opening by Symphony. What really impressed me, and you talked about it with the tactical, is when Ink Souls pushed in, when they went in, using all of their specials, Symphony was able to respawn during that push, was able to simply stay on the map and survive every special as a team from Ink Souls Maria, and then Ink Souls were forced to try to find a way in, but it was too late. Now, one thing to note about Ink Souls Maria, and they warned us in chat before the set started, they have subs, they have other players that can swap in, so right now they just learned what Symphony can do. They have the opportunity to change a player or two, maybe to get into to adapt.
Okay, so we're going to be seeing Splatos slotting in here. I'm just curious who they're switching out for. I believe it was for Yoshi's, if I am reading that correctly. Yes, it is. So Yoshi's going to be sitting out. I believe that's the Stamper gone for Inksoul's Maria. So let me double check what Splatos runs. I think it's usually Dynamo. Maybe just trying to take advantage of the cooler there, match the pace of the game with Symphony could definitely help them out, and that chip damage is great, especially if the dually is kind of stuck at the end recovery frames of a roll.
Yeah, that's opportunities. Now we're going on to Rainmaker. Can we see the maps, Ryan, please? Okay, Rainmaker on Humpback. That could be a good pick for the Dynamo that you're talking about.
It is really strong on this map, I will say. It's a very, very strong, very fun Dynamo map. Speaking from experience, love the weapon on it. Definitely see why Inksoul's Maria want to make the swap here. I'm just wondering if it'll pay off because, again, Dynamo can get punished really easily by fast weapons like the dualies, like the Zap, and that can cause a lot of problems for Inksoul's Maria. We've already seen them struggle so far. It's just, can they stabilize at this point? And also, are they able to get the specials that they want to pop, like the big bubbler from the Junior? Are they able to get those in positions where they can be useful, unlike in the previous game?
Yeah, Inksouls really need to find a way to deny Symphony as they push to stay on the map and be able to move back right now. We saw Symphony really take control of that game 1, but game 2 is a different deal. It's a Rainmaker, it works differently. Symphony is bringing the other rapid as Inksouls. This time they will have a tactical of their own thanks to that Dynamo.
Dynamo's come through. Magi also switching onto the Tri-Slosher, just getting a little bit more aggression out of the special there. Also, Tri-Slosher is very good on this map. Fantastic for buckets in general, but the Toxic Mist really works out. Same thing with the Inkjet on Rainmaker especially. Super solid pick here. Definitely Tri-Slosher's best mode. And we already see Magi get aggressive. Finds one, looking for that second one as well. Maybe trying to extend the play. No, not quite. But on the other side of the map, two players rush down Inksoul's Maria, and Symphony have kind of split the map a little bit here. Shut down by Magi just a bit, but Magi is going to have to basically be aggressive all on their lonesome until Mondi comes back.
Yeah, and right now it looks like Inksouls are keeping the advantage. They're bringing that Rainmaker to the checkpoint and are very close. Yes, they're going to get the checkpoint broken now. It's all about getting the rip-up. Thanks to that screen and all of their specials, they'll be able to get the rip-up, to get the Rainmaker again. And with the tactical, Nintendo is going into 33.
Fantastic push, especially for just a minute. But this dually has already found 2 picks with the Crab Tank, looking for that third possibly onto Mundi. But Mundi is playing well, just trying to play for contact for Magi. And Magi able to get that first pick. Mundi actually rushes the Rainmaker down for 4 extra points as well. Every point matters, especially in this part of the map where you can really get stuck. And it's a really solid push starting out for Inksoul's Maria. They've definitely established themselves a lot more than last game, and it's they're hoping to make it work out a lot more, but the Rainmaker also ends up going down. Splatter to get the jump, and I think we're just going to reset things a little bit here. Never mind, Maria have a fantastic spot for this Rainmaker to be at.
The Inksouls very much able to maintain their presence and the mines deployed in the middle of the map. I mean, Symphony are really struggling to get to mid right there. Between the Tri-Slosher and the Dynamo, there is so much for Inksouls right now. Symphony are simply holding their line, holding their side of the map, waiting for an opportunity to get in.
Yeah, like you said, it's very difficult to rush down this comp, but Symphony may have just found their window, finding 2. Magi stays safe for the second, and Mundi's on this rail, so not going to get caught by the pop, but also on a flank here, just trying to kind of prevent prevent Symphony from getting into mid here. Dragon ends up going down to Splatos' Dynamo, gets traded out, and the Rainmaker is just going to reset for the time being. Not any big pushes happening, but that Splat Dually is down for Symphony. This could be pretty tough, especially with that splatter color screen splitting up that map. It's going to be quite the uphill battle for sure.
Yeah, Inksouls doing everything they need to do, but they're waiting a bit too much. They're letting Symphony get a bit more ground. Slasher is behind everybody. No, he's forced to jump out now with the vacuum. It looks like Symphony are able to bring the Rainmaker forward. Can they get the checkpoints? Yes, they can. And with the vacuum, they get a bit more. That's 3 players down. Symphony on their way to re-grab the Rainmaker. They have Tacticular on. They're going in for more splat, but they lose 2 players already. It is not over. Now all of Inksouls is defending as much as they can as Symphony is regrouping and preparing the push. Sig.
Yeah, Mondi got into a great spot there on that bottom right shark, not quite able to make any use of it, but the splatter color screen and the inkjet are going to be able to force a lot of Symphony off here as Nintendo finds one, just trying to draw the attention of the Crab Tank as well, maybe give a little bit more space to Inksouls Maria, and Mondi coming through with that Zuka, forcing that Rainmaker back into the corner even further. That gives enough space for Splatos to kind of get aggressive here, but 2 players are down! Wait a minute, Magi's gonna have to do it all here, but Slasher's drawing so much attention. Magi finds a window. The Rainmaker is down, but that's the only player on the side of Symphony here. Splatos also dies. Nintendo is in a fantastic spot, though, to stop this push, and just barely gets it in time.
The Tactical allowed Inksouls Maria to get back in there in time. Now, you talked about the 4 points. That would matter. And now, these 4 points are incredibly important. Indeed, that's the difference between these 2 teams. Symphony re-grabbing the Rainmaker, pushing again. It's not over. Slasher getting a trade right there. That is not enough to get in. And Symphony is not able to push through. They get the super jumps, but they get punished. Slasher is alone, trying to stand the ground. With 30 seconds left, Inksouls Maria is still holding that lead.
Oh, just by the skin of their teeth too. Splatos able to get that Rainmaker into mid is going to be huge here. Now, Symphony really have to basically fully reset. They need to find the pick on the Nintendo as well to get that Rainmaker, or at least force them out with the Crab Tank. Gonna do a great job. Dragon picks up that Rainmaker. Magi is down though. That's your Tri-Slosher. That's your little rat. Splatos goes down too. Slasher finds a huge double, but the Zuka's coming out. Magi's back up as well. Magi just makes a mad dash and finds the pick with the Zuka chip. And Inksouls Maria, again, just barely hang on to take and even up our score.
That was an incredibly close one. Magi comboing with the Zuka right there to seal the deal. We are 1-1, but that was an incredibly even game.
Incredible. Just back and forth constantly, even though, you know, Symphony kind of struggled to get into mid for the first half of the game. Once they got here, it was just constant picks going back and forth. We see Splatos go down, Nintendo drops. Magi is left alone here, having to find some kind of window, finds the slimmest of margins for Inksouls Maria as well. And then Nintendo's back up just in time, playing around this corner. We saw it instrumental in the Div X set yesterday as well. Just playing around that for a backline is so important. Then Splatos gets a reset. Zoyo, by the way, beautiful double here. Just finding the surge to find Mondi as well really gave a new breath of life for Symphony, but it just wasn't enough. Even with the vac, it got overloaded too quickly. The Rainmaker just dropped too many times, and then that delayed wipe really sealed the deal from the looks of it.
Yeah, and it was really Inksouls being able to maintain the fight into mid onto that hill for the first half of the game. And between that Dynamo and the Tri-Slasher, they really had a huge advantage in these fights for mid. Now, Symphony, once they were past mid, once they were past that elbow, they were incredibly dangerous. But again, Inksouls Maria respawning just in time, firing that Hydra just in time, firing that Zuka just in time to keep it alive, to keep their tiny lead. That was so close right there. But we are now 1-1 between these 2 teams.
Yeah, and we're going to be moving on to Clan Blitz on Museum de Alfonsino for our map 3, a longer range map. Definitely going to see a lot of value from that Hydra Splatling. I think we have another roster swap on the side of Symphony, or on the side of Inksouls Maria. They did say they were going to be switching every game, so we'll probably be seeing that pretty often. I'm just not sure who it's going to be. I doubt they'd keep the Dynamo for this map. It seems pretty rough, able to get picked off pretty easily just between the Crab Tank, the Trizuka, the Rapid Blaster, everything there. It kind of leads to a bit of a struggle. So what do you think we're going to see from them? We've seen so much from Inksouls Maria in terms of weapon variety these first 2 games.
With As you said, they're going to bring whatever they want because they have a lot of depth, they have a lot of possibilities. Symphony bringing back the Rapid Pro Deco, Inksouls keeping the Dynamo and the Hydra, except this time we have two splatter shots, that's two Zuka weapons. They're going to rely really on that explosive potential that the Zuka can have, especially on this map to really get in.
Yeah, and those Zukas, they're not quite active yet, but they found a couple of picks. Symphony, though, already moving forwards. Dragon, I think, just ran into plat, found one off the Trizuka. Just Mondi is left standing for Inksouls Maria. And Symphony have taken mid almost completely. Nobody really got the tactical cooler either on the side of Inksouls Maria, and that's going to be a bit of a hindrance for them. This Crab Tank from the Dually is also finding so much chip, so much damage, really forcing everybody on Inksouls Maria to back all the way up to their basket.
Yeah, and right now we see both of these teams waiting for the opportunity that Symphony is trying to build themselves, but with one player down, they lose some slasher. Activating the Zipcaster, not able to really get much yet. Symphony still waiting for a bit more. They have a tactical, they know that the next fight is not going to be the death of them, but they're forced to move back to save the clams that they have. Now with two players down, they have the opportunity to get in. Dragon opening the basket, but still two players down. Can Slasher push through Inksouls? They have the power of that Hydra that gives them so much range, so much defensive power. That's only going to be 20 points, Sig.
Yeah, and especially with being set up so high, the Hydra just had a great view of the entire map, really prevented Symphony from getting more than those 20 points.
Yeah.
And also found the pick onto a player with 6 clams on the side of Symphony. Their economy is as good as gone right now. Just Dragon left on this top mid, trying to find another pick. Actually gets it. Wait a minute, this could turn the tide here. No cooler up just yet, but plenty of clams to do so. 13. Now Slash is going to toss that power clam and goes down. The whale gets popped, and the Zuka comes through from Inksouls Maria. However, two players are down on both sides. This could really slow things down, but Magi pushes forward with that splatter color screen, finds one. Dragon's going to have to back up now, and gets picked off by Nintendo at the end. This is the break Inksouls Maria are really looking for. But the Crab Tank comes through, and nobody is really able to deal with it.
Ooh! And with 3 players down, Symphony instantly getting back the control that they lost. Inksouls have the tools to defend, but right now, with Dynamo and Hydra, they are so slow to push and so easy to pick apart. Symphony reopening the basket, getting more points in, forcing Inksouls to defend again, and another super clam in. Means we are at 35.
We have 35 points, and Zoyo finds the pick onto Splatos too. This is really tough for Inksouls Maria. They can barely get out of their own plat here. Slash is already moving forwards again with that killer whale. Almost finds Nintendo lacking in the whale. Splatos goes down again. That's 3 players gone for Inksouls Maria. Symphony, they don't have a power clip. They do at now, and they found the 4th pick. Magi's down, but everyone's back up for a respawn. Dragon's just going to play a little bit slower, get that tactical, or provide those jumps, and Slasher's just trying to space out the rest of Maria for the team to kind of recuperate and maybe get a push going later on that'll possibly KO the game with how many clams they have.
And with the pick on the Hydra by Zoyo right there, Symphony is going to try to push again. The crab is helping. Dragon jumping around, putting the clam in the basket. There's enough clams on the team to get a KO, Sig. As Symphony is pushed away again. No KO for you. Inksouls able to defend again, but they need to get a huge push if they want to come back, and they only have 1 minute to do so.
Yeah, they've only got 1 minute, and this offense from Symphony has been absolutely relentless. The Dualies coming to clean up Splatos. That's 3 players down again, and the Dualies are already inside the spawn on the plat in the basket. They just need the clams, and again, they have been so close to KO twice now. And it's really just not even a question of like if it'll happen, it's more when. Inksouls Maria have barely gotten past the top spinner, but that's exactly the pick they need. That's the power clam gone. Mondi finds a massive pick, but Splatos goes down. There's 2 players already contesting this bottom left. Mondi is on top of the sword. Can you find the one? No, not quite. And Symphony clean up with the 2nd pick too. Both shots are down. That's your front line just dropped, and Symphony still have full control of this game.
the power, the speed that Symphony has all around that map allows them to really punish Inksoul's Maria whenever they want to get in. Inksoul's able to splat, but Julie's able to activate their specials right there, but they don't have much time. They're going to need an overtime push. Splatos is under the basket, right, that is not able to get the good jumps. There is the Super Clam, but the Super Clam is behind and they get splatted. That's a wipeout to seal the deal. Symphony not letting Inksoul Maria do anything that game.
They just completely got stuffed out. Anything that Inksoul's Maria really tried to do, just not quite able to get anything going. Symphony had great chip damage and really executed fantastically. There were some beautiful plays, just movement-wise, especially from Dragon, who I want to highlight on that zap.
Yeah.
You know, the fancy feet with the power clams, just dunking it in as well. Fantastic work from Symphony in general.
Hey, the zap has been buffed in the last patch, and it was already a pretty good weapon. Now it has better fighting power. It really is a force to reckon with, and especially when Inksoul's Maria have two heavyweight weapons, they are very much losing in terms of speed, and Symphony really constantly outpacing Inksoul's. I feel like they need to switch things up to have more pushing power, to have more speed, because right now defending is not enough.
Yeah, not only are you kind of hindering yourself in terms of mobility with this Dynamo Heavy, but also because you have the double splatter shot, those really transition more into support shooters, less of those super fight heavy front lines that we used to know them for, closer to the beginning of the game, even up to about a year ago. So number one thing is maybe just switch up the comp, give yourself a little bit more aggression to meet Symphony in the middle, so you can still slow the pace down, especially on Hagglefish Market, but you have something to kind of lead the charge against them.
Yeah, very much. You have a lot going on. I mean, going onto Hagglefish, we have a much more flatter map. We have a map and a mode that is probably the slowest mode in the game, which is tower control. So probably a very good map for the Hydra. I expect that to come back. I expect that to do well for Inksouls, but Inksouls need to be able to sustain their pushes. And so far we've seen them be able to go forward, but getting punished so quickly when they do so.
Yeah, anytime they've been aggressive outside of the first push on the Rainmaker game, it's just constantly met by Symphony, just constantly stuffed out, whether it's through the chip damage or the dualies, just finding a miracle pick or something. Inksoul's Maria really haven't had an opportunity to kind of get aggressive and show what they're made of a lot of time consistently. The consistency is really what we're looking for from the team. And it's really also been the name of the game for Symphony. They've been able to convert so many different plays that they've made into stronger man advantage, into large pushes, and I'm kind of expecting to see a lot more of the same on tower control. You said it's a pretty slow mode relative to the other ones, but at the same time, it can snowball pretty quickly with that special charge advantage.
Oh yeah, for sure. Once your team is past the first checkpoint and gets next to the tent on the side and really starts getting in, it's incredibly dangerous. Any splat can decide anything, and you need to be able to really stop that push from the opponent. And the strong defense that Inksouls has showed us could really work in their advantage. They bring a gold Dynamo this time, along with a Splash-O-Matic.
Yeah, Yoshi's switching over to the Splash-O-Matic. Still going with that double short-range shooter frontline, but having something to kind of help out with the aggression a little bit more. The Tactical Cooler is awesome. It's super helpful, but maybe what they were looking for was just something to help them fight directly, and that Super Chumps can definitely play for a little bit, give you a little bit more cover, cause a bit more chaos as well, and it's already looking like it's working out fantastically for Inksoul's Maria. They get the first touch of the tower, but do they know about Dragon on the flank? The Dragon finds one, looking for that second on the Crab, but Yoshi's is able to turn around, stay alive. The Crab gets shredded, but the push is as good as gone, just thanks to that flank. And Dragon with a big time play ends up going down here, but the rest of the team is able to kind of push up and just touch that tower a little bit more.
Yeah, it's not over. Both teams are back to the drawing board right there, waiting for an opportunity. As I say, that Symphony activating a crab tank pretty far ahead. That's going to allow them to get ahead of the tower. Splatters, though, is defending with that Dynamo, forcing everybody to wait a little bit more. Symphony a bit too eager to get in, a bit too confident maybe, and Inksol's able to punish them still.
Able to punish indeed, but it's not going to work out quite as well as they'd hoped. That's 2 players down on the side of Inksol's Maria, and Symphony have turned that right back around for Elite. Yoshi's with this crab tank is going to have to jump back out and just live to fight another day with this crab tank, maybe set it up for a solid defense stop where they can. Slasher, though, is going to be able to find splatters. The lead is flipped. The crab tank and cooler are up for the side of Symphony here, and now this is where the score can really start to deplete pretty quick. You've already passed that first checkpoint. That's one of the big barriers on this map. And Dragon is riding this tower, just dancing around 2-3 of the players before going down. And Symphony, this is a really solid spot to be in, especially since you get that first checkpoint out the way.
Yeah, I mean, Symphony, and they're still here. They still have the numbers advantage, and are looking to push. Dragon is waiting by that checkpoint for the rest of the team to bring the tower in. That's going to be a crab tank in a very, very big position. Symphony, as you said, very in position to snowball, to push forward. Zoyo from that tower is now waiting for the checkpoint to be broken, dodging and throwing the darts to help. It's only the Splatters with the Dynamo to hold the line, but we're on the final checkpoint and there's nobody to really contest Zoyo on that tower, Sig.
Yeah, and they've already broken that third checkpoint finally. Inksol's Maria are able to get on top of that tower and find so many of the picks they need. It's just the duelies left standing, and the big windup from the Dynamo isn't going to find anything, but the rest of the team will, just barely, by the skin of their teeth. Inksol's Maria hold on, they prevent that KO, and the Zuka's already coming through from Magi. Not quite going to get anything, but makes at least a little bit of space to maybe get a push going for Inksol's Maria here.
Yeah, it is alive for Inksol's Maria, but now they pretty much need a KO if they want to get back into this game. They get 2 players down, and that's a pretty good start. They are getting to that first checkpoint with a screen and the chumps to cover them.
Yeah, the chumps are coming through. They get to the checkpoint, but not quite past it. The crab tank ends up going down here as well as Nintendo. It's just Magi left, and Magi has to back out. Ends up going down to Dragon in the process. And again, Symphony have just answered time and time again, just any kind of momentum Inksol's Maria has tried to establish here. You know, they haven't been able to get any of these big pushes, and that's been a serious problem. This crab tank has been largely the reason why.
Yeah, very nice hold by Symphony, able to really punish Inksol's as they were getting in. Now Inksol's have 1 minute to get back into this game. They haven't made it past the first checkpoint, and Symphony is attacking again with 2 players down. 1 shot behind them, but they get punished again. Dragon is back on the tower, and Symphony is looking to get more deep inside.
They're trying to. They're getting a little bit of momentum established. Finding that pick on the Nintendo is going to be big, but the dualies just pushes a little bit too far forward. Splatos with a little bit of a sneaky play, trying to get able to get behind, but gets picked off by the Killer Whale. A little bit of the issue when playing those slower weapons with big wind-up animations is you get chipped out really easily by Killer Whale, and that's going to work out great for Symphony, but this Zuka won't. They're going to need to take some cover, and now Inksol's Maria have the crab tank ready. They've popped it on top of the tower. They've gotten a pick as well, but Dragon is already behind on the tower, and the dualies are behind. Wait a minute, the dualies are just incredibly out of position. They need to jump out. The tower is in the favor of Inksol's Maria, but Dragon is already here again. Yeah. Zoyo is also contesting this tower so much, and nobody from Inksol's Maria is able to touch. Symphony, they've just not stopped.
That's it. They are not stopping. They're constantly getting in. They're constantly wanting more. Even their support player, Dragon, is more aggro than most frontliners that you're used to see. They are constantly pushing forward, trying to get more, and I mean, it's paying off. It's really working for them.
Yeah, Dragon, this makes Zap look so fun to play. I will say, I got sick of it at some point just playing it, but this makes me want to get back into it. Fantastic work, like you said, incredibly aggressive on this app, especially when having the cooler active. But just playing that super mobile frontline shooter, flexible, able to play with the dualies and Stamper, keep pace with them, is so important to their comp and to their like team identity. It's worked out fantastic, and even when they got wiped out here, they had so much space and so much paint set up. Also because Dragon was able to paint so much while being so active on the map. You know, Inksoul's Maria never really got past that first checkpoint.
Yeah, it was very rough for the Inksoul's Maria again. I mean, we've seen them get one close game in this whole set yet, and that was on Rainmaker. They won it, but the other 3 games where Symphony really deciding the pace of the game, deciding what would happen. And now we're back to Splat Zones, where Symphony has a very classic map, a map where their comp is going to be at their ease, and Inksouls need to adapt, needs to change what they're doing, and they need to do it fast because we are getting deep into the set, Sig.
Yeah, you're already down to your 2-way from match point, and this is if you are Inksoul's Maria. I thought my Wi-Fi just died for a second there.
Yeah, I thought your Wi-Fi did die.
Yeah, but they are going to need to find something, whether that is like just opportune picks onto Dragon before Dragon gets the cooler and is able to play like super fast with the rest of the team, or just shut down the dualies, crab tanks. Those are really important to do, and also just being able to deal with the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco. I feel like that is also like one of the major reasons and major contributors to Inksoul's Maria's struggles here. Just the mobility and damage provided by that weapon is so difficult for them to deal with.
I think with the comp that they have played, the different comps that they have played, Inksoul's Maria, they can take control of the space. Like they can really lock a space down between the Hydra and the Dynamo to really make sure that, hey, this is our place and we are painting this and we are here. And they can also really get in, get a few picks and win a few fights, but they cannot do both at once. Whereas Symphony are constantly going in, getting that paint and getting these fights. Symphony don't rely on having the range of having these positions to really take control of the space, which means they're constantly going faster. Inksouls are a bit slower, which means they really need to win the fight harder, more in order to get the space. Going into this next game, they really need to be able to push Symphony away. Symphony bringing a comp that we absolutely expect, and Inksouls are going to bring a Zap and a Splattershot Pro.
Is that a Forged Pro?
That's a Forged Pro.
Oh my goodness. Something that we've seen gain a little bit of traction. People have talked about it just a touch over the past 6 months, but still not really known for, being excelling at really anything. Especially in Splat Zones, it really doesn't paint that well for itself, but it has a very strong kit. Booyah Bomb also got buffed pretty recently, so this could be exactly what Inksoul's Maria were looking for, but not quite going to work out for them just yet. They get the flip eventually, but the crab tank from the dualies is able to find Splatos. Nintendo is getting chipped out so heavily here, and Zoyo just forcing them back. Fantastic work. This is one of the really cool things about Rapid Blaster Pro Deco is you can find those off angles to really be annoying to deal with, while also being incredibly effective and staying alive because of your mobility and that dart and everything that you have at your disposal.
Ooh, and right now it was 3 players down on the side of Inksouls. They're respawning, they're coming back into the fight, but Symphony are holding that zone, forcing Inksouls to use all of their resources to get in. Now Inksouls are able to, not able to camp the zone, yet yes they are, thanks to all of their resources, all of their specials went into that zone right here. They were able to apply penalty, but Symphony is still around here to keep the fight on.
Symphony able to keep fighting, but not inside the zone. That's already been capped for Inksoul's Maria. Dragon now able to recap it with this dually Splatos there, with that Dynamo Roller putting so much paint onto the zone, neutralizing in just 2 flicks. Really impressive stuff from a weapon. Magi is going to be able to Booyah Bomb, get the rest of the team in. They're going to try and kind of isolate these two players on the bottom right, but it's not working out. We're going 1 for 2. That's a pretty tough ask for Inksel's Maria. Now both of them jumped into Nintendo. Both the jumps back in. It's just the dualies. And now Inksel's Maria, they have a bit of opportunity here to kind of maybe close in on that lead, maybe extend it. You need to shut down Slasher on the Zipcaster as your first thing, though.
Yeah, Nintendo really trying to shut down the space with the Hydra, but all of Symphony are back on the attack. The lead was not swapped, and it's another penalty, and Symphony not wasting a second, going ahead of the zone, preparing their hold onto the zone as Inksels are regrouping, are preparing another push.
They're going to need to go pretty quickly here. The tactical cooler already up from Mondi. And now they're moving forward. So the super jumps coming through to contest that zone. Splatos is trying to find the pick onto Dragon. Dragon giving a couple of jumps that Splatos going down. It's just Slasher left against 2 or 3. Able to find one with that Crab Tank support, but not much more after that. Inksel's Murray, they've put the penalty on. They've gotten that zone, and now they've gotten through the penalty of their own, but the zone gets neutralized and fully flipped, as well as Nintendo going down here. They just really can't get some time with this zone.
Yeah, it's non-stop, and Symphony, despite being a few players down, are able to hold the zone, are able to delay the push. Magi activating the Booyah Bomb, forcing Symphony to move a little bit as Inksels are retaking the zone. Less than 2 minutes in the game, and Inksels don't have that much penalty, but they lose 2 players. Nintendo and Monday are getting pushed away with the punish onto the super jump. Symphony again pushing in, pushing deeper, forcing Splatters away. It's going to be so rough because it's Symphony's turn to get rid of their penalty now. Sig?
Yeah, it's quite the uphill battle for Inksels Maria. The Crab Tank is just going to expound on that. And now Nintendo has a splatter color screen maybe to deal, as well as the super chumps, but those specials aren't going to be able to get you in on their own. The Booyah Bomb is going to be a step in the right direction, but Splasher with the Zipcaster finds a pick. The zone gets neutralized. It's still in favor of Symphony, though, and they are constantly tick, tick, boom, and they have put themselves on match point.
A huge game by Symphony. Inksels Maria, I feel, were able to really contest what Symphony was doing in that game. Were able to get the pushes, were able to get the punish, were able to win the fight. They need to do that and more. Like, they're learning, and now they don't have time to try things. They need to make it work right now.
Yeah, they've had their safety net. They've been given opportunities, just not quite able to capitalize. I will say, though, there were a couple of good plays here. Nintendo able to shut down both players of Symphony on this defense. Afterwards, what happened, though, was this Crab Tank able to find... Well, the rest of the team able to find one, and then the right clicks just able to neutralize those Explosher shots from the Crab Tank, able to neutralize the zone. Nobody from Inksels Maria was really able to paint over it. That was kind of the downfall of the game right there, because afterwards they got locked down, couldn't get back in. Yeah,
very much a rough game to play. Symphony, when they were getting control, were really pushing deep under the spawn, were really getting as many points as they could for as long as they could, whereas Inksels were happy to fight over the zone, and that's the power. That's all you need to do when you have more range, but that was not enough in the end. Now we have a 4-1 for Symphony. We have, as you said, the match point. Going into Rainmaker again on Scourge Gold. Rainmaker was the lucky mode for Inksels. Can they do it again?
They're going to need to, and this is a pretty solid map, I feel, for them, able to play around a lot of the very solid high ground backline positions. Like that Hydra from Nintendo is going to have a pretty solid time at just making use of those. The spotlight color screen can definitely help out as well, making it easier to push through and cut up the map in those very difficult to move through areas, like where after that first checkpoint, where it can be very difficult to break through and kind of score a little bit more. The screen could provide a little bit of cover for the frontline players to make space for that Rainmaker there.
Yeah, lots of opportunities to fight, but I noticed that Splatos left, so we won't have a Dynamo.
Okay, so no Dynamo this game, so probably no Cooler. unless Mondi's back on Zap, and then no chumps is the big thing as well.
Yeah. I mean, with how flat and open Scorch Gorge is, not bringing the Dynamo might be a good idea. Honestly, that should allow them to go a bit faster, to coordinate a bit better. Now, the big question is, what do they bring instead to provide them with that amount of paint, with that amount of map control that the Dynamo was providing? And can Symphony break it again? They've shown how fast they were willing to go in.
Yeah, we saw in game 1 was the last time we didn't see Splatos playing, and that was basically a steamroll for Symphony, able to force a lot of Inksel's Maria back. Now, granted, that was like a shot splash junior comp, so you didn't have a lot of range to work with. Maybe we see Inksel's Maria try and switch it up, go for something with a little bit more range here. But Soyo is going to be on that Rapid Blaster, the vanilla one, and we're seeing the Zap instead of a junior. So we are going to be sticking with the triple short range shooter plus Hydra, but maybe just the cooler is what they needed as a change from game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Cooler will allow them to respawn faster, to have more movement, and the Hydra can be very nice to defend. On attack, they'll probably be the one grabbing the Rainmaker to allow the rest of the team to move as fast as they can.
Yeah, but this Crab Tank is already moving, helping the rest of the team move forward. There are actually 2 Crab Tanks on the side of Symphony, and they've already picked up the Rainmaker, looking for this first checkpoint quite early as well, already moving forwards. But Mondi with the Zuka is going to try and stall out, not quite able to find any picks, only really getting up to that pillow, and now just going to have to play a little bit slow. No really spot for the Crab Tank to be popped here, but found a window. Coolies gets picked off. The checkpoint goes down, but so does Dragon. That's 2 players gone for the side of Symphony. They're going to have to reset here, Pat.
Hey, Symphony got what they wanted. We're in the first minute. They already broke the checkpoint. That's a nice opening. But now they're forced back to mid. Inksel's Maria regrouping themselves, putting themselves back in, but again having to defend their own ramp. They're able to punish the Crab Tank. That is huge right there. And with Bazooka, Inksel's Maria are getting back some control. They get the repop. Now they will have the opportunity to push, as Mondi is already pushing forward, getting into the fight, punishing Dragon. And it's the opportunity from Natendo to grab a Rainmaker and get the checkpoint. Not only is Inksel's tying up the score, they could get the repop.
Well, they do get it. That extra object damage from the Hydra fully spun up. Super useful, but now it's going to be just as tough a task picking up that Rainmaker. Yoshi's just trying to pull players over on this left-hand side, but the Ink Vac is coming through, so nobody can really contest for very long. But Inksel's Maria don't need to. They just grab the lead and try and back out as fast as possible. Yoshi's, though, on a bit of a shark here in the corner. I wonder if they're going to get cleared. It looks like just barely. I think they got picked off by the shooter player as well as Mondi. Mondi ended up... Oh no, Yoshi's actually didn't get cleared out. They got chipped, but nobody really fully cleared. Yoshi's clutching up, getting 2. Magi getting that 3rd one as well is going to be massive. Inksel's Maria, they have a lead. They have a big advantage now, and it's really just Slasher and the Dualies left standing. However, they're able to clean up house. They've got 1 pick. They forced a couple of jumps. Slasher has this Crab Tank, and yet again, Symphony have turned nothing into something, and they've gotten a push. They have a Crab Tank to work with and an Ink Vac. This is entirely possible for them to re-grab the lead again.
Yeah, but the Ink Vac was not able to save the Rainmaker Courier. No lead for Symphony yet. Inksel's Maria holding again by the skin of their teeth. As Symphony is, of course, attacking again, making Milai they are pushing, and they're in position now deep into that territory. With that we grab over Rainmaker, they should get the lead, but they're not able to get much more. Very nice defense by Inksel's. This game is still on.
Yeah, very low scoring game, just generally here, and it's worked out pretty well. You know, this is the kind of game that you kind of like to see if you're Inksel's Maria. You've kind of been getting steamrolled a little, and Dragon is right there with the shark, finds 2. Wait a minute, Inksel's Maria don't really have an opportunity, and now Mondi's in trouble. It was 1 HP to the Dually, ends up finding that trade, and Yoshi's there to kind of back up the rest of the team and just be kind of the first line of defense here for the rushing Symphony, but Dragon finds that pick as well. The Rainmaker has an Ink Vac for support in a couple of seconds here. Maybe, just maybe, Symphony could try to extend their lead in just a couple seconds.
They could very much indeed. Zoyo is waiting for that opportunity. But all of Inksouls are in position. Nintendo is almost trapped.
No.
Rapid is able to get away, though. Very nice movement by both players. But in the end, Inksouls have 1 minute to push. They activate the screen. Both teams waiting for each other. But you can't lose too many of your players. That's two down onto Symphony. My guy is forced to the side. And Zoyo is still hanging onto that vacuum, probably waiting for the Rainmaker to be grabbed.
And not really a great opportunity to use it here in neutral. Definitely one of those specials that you can use a lot more in offense or defense here. And the Rainmaker's just going to get grabbed, try and move it to a bit more of a stallable position for Symphony. You know, we're in the last 20 seconds, and this is exactly what you want. However, what you don't want is your backline going down as well as your zap. Both did have tactical at the ready, and you find the pick with the dually. Wait a minute, this is entirely possible now. This is really bad for Inksouls Maria. They have a Trizuka. They're not able to find the picks, but they need to grab that Rainmaker immediately. This Inkvac isn't going to be able to help them. The Crab Tank goes down as well, and they need to move this Rainmaker forwards, but they just don't have an opportunity. This Blaster is causing so many issues, but now that they found those picks, it's just this Crab Tank left in their way. Maybe just only that in the lead, as well as Slasher. Wait a minute, trying to find the drop, ends up going down here with Yoshi's pick. Nintendo tries getting aggressive on that left-hand side, not quite able to find anything. H finds the trade with Yoshi's on that splash. It's just Monty left as the sole front line for Inksouls Maria. Half the Rainmaker timer elapsed now, and Magi needs to find something here, maybe possibly move, but the spam with the suction bombs and the toxic mist, it's just not stopping for Symphony.
Both teams looking at each other, but Inksouls need to find their way in. They're outspecialed right now. The vacuum and the Crab Tank has activated as all of Symphony are simply pummeling from a distance. The vacuum is thrown nowhere. Wait, but there's the splat. I believe it was by Dragon. Yeah, it was by Dragon.
Wow, that was a tight way to end a set. Very long overtime as well. Symphony able to stall out fantastically. They had two toxic mist weapons. That's why we saw so many. I was very confused. I'm like, Stamper doesn't output that much.
Both Rapid and Stamper had these Vic toxic mist, which don't look like much. They're low rated, but they're still very efficient, especially in Rainmaker. You don't want to have to dodge while you're in a mist.
Yeah, it's so difficult. You're slowed down so much, and that makes you easy pickings for the rest of the team. We saw that work fantastically for the overtime, forcing that Rainmaker to kind of just sit still until the rest of the team was able to find a semblance of an opportunity here. That was a pretty tough overtime to watch generally, but Symphony are able to clean things up with all their specials, and with the Dragon finding this pick here, they clean up the game. They've taken their set. They've put themselves as 3-0, topping out the group. And Inksouls Maria, they're 1-2, so they need to find something these next couple weeks. Yeah,
and we have that means that's the end of our set. We have more to watch tonight. That will be later tonight, more on the American evenings. But yeah, here's thank you for the cards, Dorian. Yeah, we'll see the Sleepy Squids going against Lepaki, Bad Guys versus the Whiprays, and Power Stars against Siphonophoric. But it will be at 9 p.m. Easter time, which I think is in 5 hours.
Yeah, just about. That's what it is. So. That being said, that will do it from us here today. Now, Pat, where can the lovely people find you after this stream?
You can find me on Blue Sky at PatJLTom. It's written right here on your screen. You can also find me at Dapple Production in about 1 hour. I'll be casting Trident Cup, so come watch that. We'll probably raid it after if Dorian is nice. And Sid, where can I find you on the internet?
You can find me just about anywhere where the Splatoon community hangs out, whether that's Blue Sky or Twitter or Discord or Twitch, at Sigdakari, like you see at the bottom of your screen right here. And that being said, it has been fantastic casting with you, as always, Pat. Great time, good set as well. And that being said, I believe we will see you guys in a couple of hours.
Yeah.